Well, good morning everybody. This is day one of the 3-day Trent festival. All the stretchers that were being used are all around the Newark area. So this is non-tidal. It's a Saturday. We're going to be fishing Sunday and Monday. So it's 3 days fishing. We're going to be rotating through sections, and the competition is going to be decided on overall section points. It's a red hot day, as you can see. Bright sunshine. We're faced with a very familiar low and clear river. This is any method, so whilst I haven't brought any whips or poles with me or anything like that certainly for today, I have brought float gear with me. However, I won't be setting it up on this peg. I've got 3 rods set up. I'll talk you through that. Like I say, it's all about section points, this competition. So obviously the biggest thing you want to avoid is a blowout, so I've got 2 or 3 rods set up just to cover my options. So it's flat calm, as you can see. This is peg 15 at Rolleston. The river's going from right to left, and the peg numbers, they're the low numbers, and they go up towards the high numbers. So we've got a bit of a bend here, and then it goes up to another bend just where that wind turbine is. I actually drew there about 3 weeks ago. I drew right on that bend, and I had a barbel there, about £5, and some bits as well, but the end peg actually ran away with it. The upstream end peg caught some skimmers. I'm sat in the water, so I'll quickly just go through the setup for you just before we get into the match, just so you've got an idea of you know, what the approach and everything is going to be over the next 3 days. I've got 3 rods set up. So the rod nearest to us is a 13-foot XD, and that is basically a barbel rod. I've got that set up with a bomb on it, a 1 metre hook length, and on that I'm going to be using, I've got some meat with me, but possibly corn as well, and I'm going to be loose feeding some hemp just with a catapult just in front of me. It is quite deep here, but with a bomb obviously I can search down the peg. So that is all about barbel, really strong gear on that one. The middle rod is a line that's clipped up at 21 metres, just there, which is still in that main flow. So the reason why it's 21 metres is because I found a spot where it's nice and clean, there isn't any snags there, and when I went to the sticks, that's exactly what it worked out at. So that's the reason why it's an odd number. So that is a rod that's going to be set up with a decent hook on it, 0.15 hook length for bream or any bonus fish. And then the rod that's furthest away is, again, it's exactly the same rod. It's a 12-foot Horizon Pro distance, and that is set up at exactly the same line, 21 metres, and that is to catch anything. So that's for fishing for roach, fishing for dace, fishing for anything with a smaller hook and a lighter hook length. I've got 2 nets in, because if we do catch a barbel, the barbel will have to go in its own net unless it's of a certain size, and if it's a certain size or it's struggling, we will weigh it straight away and get it put back. And that is basically it. So that is the setup. We're going to be fishing 11 until 4. It's all about the section points. Is that a bird of prey? What's that then? Is that a buzzard? Or are they kites? I know there's more and more kites around now. You can hear it calling. I don't know. So I'm going to start on that 21 metre line. I'll start off fishing for bites, for roach, dace, anything. Obviously if there's any skimmers there or any bream there, I can switch to that other rig and fish with a proper hook. And then all that time I'm going to be loose feeding hemp on that short line, where at any stage obviously I can drop a bomb on that and try and pick up a stray barbel. So to start off with, I'm just going to fish for bites. Simple as that. I'll fish with small baits, maggots. I've got some pinkies, bits of chop worm, and if I could just keep putting fish in the net, then obviously that's what I'll do for that first period. Just catch what I can what's there on that 21 metre line. I'm going to be putting a bit of chop worm in. The ground bait mix that I've got is F1 green and match method dark, so it's quite a dark mix. It's quite fine. Alright, and it is fish meal obviously. And I'll just be using small feeders, kicking off with the ground bait. And then if I've got to switch to a maggot feeder to keep bites coming, then that's what I'll do. I've got 2 or 3 pints of maggots with me, and I've got 2 or 3 pints of casters as well if they prefer caster. Just kicking off with a worm finely chopped to start with, fishing for anything. Obviously I can put small bits of that on the hook. Got a few boats going through already, but it is flat calm, bright sunshine, everything's really against it, but hopefully there's going to be some fish on that 21 metre line where I could just kick off just by putting a few fish in the net no matter what size they are.
Today?
Yes.
I thought it must be. Oh, looks very professional. Yeah.
That's the main thing. As long as we look like we know what we're doing,
yeah.
That's main thing, isn't it?
Just a bit like us.
Yeah, you look like you know exactly what you're doing. that it? Time! Second cast, booked a fish, just on a little piece of worm, just a worm head. Doesn't feel too bad actually for the first fish. It's a, wow, how about that? I didn't expect that. Second cast. I expected a little roach or a dace. I'm catching them if they're there. Just kicked off with a size 16 on. Size 16 hook, MXB2, just to see what's there. That's a 30-gram feeder I've got on. It's just holding all right. That's another fish. Good stamp. It's a beautiful stamp, that. Missed that one. That was as soon as the feeder hit the bottom. Took a bit of worm, that. So all I'm going to do is just keep going on this and just catch what I can for as long as I can. That's another fish. I feel a decent stamp as well. I'd only been in a few seconds, but a really positive bite. I've got my rig free running at the moment. And it's a perch, that's why. It's getting heated. That rig's working alright at the moment. I'm not missing any bites. So I'll just keep on going, doing what I'm doing, and hopefully these fish will keep coming. Thought that would be better skimmer, that one. Been fishing for about 30 minutes now. It's just ticking over. I've only seen one fish caught right up to my right, looked like a decent net fish, but that's it. I don't really know what's been caught, so I'm just going to continue on this, trying to hit as many bites as I can. Seems to be working all right at the minute. Just swapping between maggot, caster and bits of worm. Just a mixed bag, really. There are some little fish out there, some bleak, some dace out there as well, and some very little roach. So you're going to miss the odd bites. I mean, look at the size of them. You know, they can be hard enough to catch on a float. But I am putting a few fish in the net, and I'm obviously still loose feeding hemp on that short line. So I'll just keep going with this and see if it continues, and just take whatever I can. Quite a few boats today, quite a bit of activity, but it is a bank holiday weekend, so, and the weather's nice, so it's fully expected. See, they're not a bad stamp if they keep coming. Like I say, when you've no idea what's happening around you, you've just got to keep going, you know. Nice bonus. There are many more of them out there. Beautiful bonus, that one. Well, we've been fishing for an hour and 20 minutes. I'm still getting bites from small fish, but they are really, really small. The lad up to my right, I can just see him, and I've seen him net 3 fish. And I can't tell what they are, I can't quite tell. I don't know if they're skimmers. He's proper sitting and waiting. I don't think they're proper bream, but they could be decent skimmers. And it looks like he's just being patient and sitting for bites. I've just seen a fish crash downstream as well, quite a long way downstream, out of my peg. And I don't know if that was the angler downstream from me playing a fish, a good fish. I don't know. So it's a little bit awkward at the moment, because I don't think I'm going anywhere with these small fish. I don't think there's going to be quite enough of them. I missed that bite then. So I think I'm going to give it about another 10 minutes. See if it gets any better. If it doesn't, I'm just going to change to an open-ended feeder, because I've got a maggot feeder on now. And just fish a bit more like a bream type. A bream type method. I've heard him chopping worms, so I know he's putting worms in. And just slow it all down and just see if I can pick off a bonus fish. That's a good sign. I've just done 2 pieces of worm that time. So a bigger hook bait. Just slowing it all down. So I'm just going to repeat that again, 2 2 bits of worm, just putting chopped worm and caster through the feeder, open-ended feeder. But the small fish are leaving this bait alone as well, so you can sit with it. I was hoping that was going to be another skimmer. It's not, it's a chunky bonus perch. Well, that seems to be working better. There's 3 fish in 3 casts, just changing to that bigger bait. No, they're not all skimmers. It's just putting some weight in the net. Well, that's 4 fish in 4 casts. Only the first one was a skimmer, but like I say, it's putting some fish in the net now. Let's hope it continues. He's just netting another fish up there. It looks a good fish. I think it might be a bream. It's hard to tell from where I am. Definitely got more weight than me, but I'm coming back with fish now. That's a little skimmer. I think that's 4 I've seen him net now, so I'm just going to keep going. This is the way that I would, if I had to target bream on this river, then this is how I'd be fishing for them. So I'm just going to keep going. He's on the same line. Well, he's a little bit further out than me, to be honest, where he's casting. Bigger feeder. But I'm sure if there's any in front of me, the way that I'm fishing is the way that I would imagine you'd catch them. So I'm just going to keep going, just keep putting fish in the net, and if a bonus comes along, then that's obviously a bonus. Well, it's working much better. I'm not catching bream or even skimmers, but I am putting fish in the net, which is obviously much better than not putting fish in the net. But every time I get a bite, I keep expecting the rod to stop as I hook a better fish. So, and I've got quite positive gear on as well now as regards the hook and line as well. So if I do hook a better fish, I've got decent gear on. But we've just been fishing 2 hours now, and it's just ticking over. Let's go slightly, tiny bit further upstream from where I was, because I've been snagged up twice there. So I'm casting straight in front of me now. Hopefully it's going to be clear there. Over now, it feels like it's getting better. I'm going to keep that little bit of chop worm going in every cast, and some casters. keep that more positive, robust bait on as well. I've left a 1 metre hook length on. I'm not sure that's right or not, but I just think it might catch me extra fish. But it is getting the attentions of small fish as soon as it goes in. Normally I'd have it shorter than that, but I'm leaving it because I want to be a little bit less selective. If there are any skimmers up in the water, that longer hook length just might help me catch an extra couple of fish. That was a really slow drop back. This feels very strange. I don't know if this is foul hooked or a better fish, or it could be both. Yeah, it's come off. That was pretty sure that was foul hooked. Pretty certain. As soon as I hooked it, it felt like it was coming in sideways. It's got a bit of an upstream breeze now. That's just holding the line back a little bit with the bow. Because I'm fishing for better fish now, I am fishing with the bow in the line. Well, I've just switched. That positive approach, caught a few fish, but then it just got worse and worse. I really persevered with it. Probably a bit too long. I saw the lad up to my right net 2 more fish, so that's why I stayed on it a bit longer, until it got to the point where the swim had just completely died. I just couldn't get a bite on anything. So I've literally just made the decision now. This is a 3-day competition. I've just made the decision to just go back to how I started, just trying to catch anything. And I've just had a couple doing that, so I'm just going to see if I can get the small fish lined up. I'm going to miss a few bites, I know I am, so I'm fishing a small bait. I'm just going to try and persevere with it. I've just had 2 on it, and they were both, well, I've just had that perch, and the one before that was a roach about 3 ounce, so they're worth catching if there's obviously more of them. So for this middle bit now, I haven't been on that short barber line, I'm still feeding it. The only angler I can see is one to my right. I did see a landing net go out down to my left, but I couldn't see what it was. So I'm just, other than the lad on my right, I'm pretty blind, to be honest. So I've just obviously got to just try and get some weight in the net. I haven't been able to get a bonus fish, so I've just gone back now to just see. I didn't get a bite that cast, which is strange, but I'm just going to try and go back to the beginning now. In fact, the bait's, there's no bait on. Just going to go back to the beginning now and just try and catch anything I can. There are fish rattling that on the way down. That was before the feeder even hit the bottom, that was rattling. I had to, in fact I have hooked it. See, this is why you miss bites as well. Look at the size of that. But if I can get down to the bottom and just get some, even if it's 2 and 3 ounce roach, obviously it's all going to help. Well, the lad up to my right has gone on the pole now. He's been loose feeding that pole line all day. I think he's been putting hemping on it. There's 90 minutes left. He's gone on that and he's catching some roach now on the pole. So whether I would have caught more fish actually fishing a float on this peg, I don't know. But this catch anything approach, it's getting me a few bites, but some of them, they're literally that big. Little tiny bleak. Some of it hitting the bait on the way down. Not much sign of any skimmers or roach. So other than the lad on my right catching on the pole, I still haven't heard anything about either section's fishing. So I'm just persevering with this for just to catch what I can, really. If they are bleak, odd dace, odd roach. Yeah, he's catching quite steady on the pole now. He'll end up with a tidy weight today. So I'm going to keep going on this, and then obviously going into that last hour, if nothing changes, I'll have to make a decision whether I'm going to carry on doing what I'm doing, or I'm going to try for a better fish, or obviously I've still got that short line that I'll put in for a barbel. I haven't tried that yet. I haven't seen or heard any being caught, but if it stays like this, I will be having a drop on it in that last hour just to see if I can snare a bonus fish. Oh, if that's a better fish. Just put single pinky on that time, just trying to catch anything. Could be a perch, I think. This feels like a perch. Yep, bonus perch. Every fish is a bonus. Beautiful. Single pinky. And his peg up to my right has just got stronger and stronger on the pole. It's catching really steady now. So, just going into this last hour, I'm not quite sure what to do because I haven't had any more information. I don't know whether just keep the fishing like this. I'm just trying to get every ounce that I can get, keep putting something in the net. I don't know whether to go for a skimmer or a bream. And I've obviously got my barbel line as well, which I haven't been on yet. And I have no idea what I need, so I'm not quite sure what I'm going to do at the moment. Good pull, that one. Might be another bonus perch maybe. Oh, it's a skimmer. Look at that. Where's they been all day? Look at that. That's a beautiful fish, that one. Catching a few more of them. There's 50 minutes left. I'm catching these small fish now, but I'm not even getting the better, 2-3 ounce roach in between. It's just all those little dace and odd bleak. That up to my right, he's gone back on the feeder. If he kept getting the odd bonus fish or the odd net fish, it would have ticked over nicely this line today. Like I say, when you don't know what else has been caught in the section, it's a bit difficult making your decisions. That looks like a little skimmer. Kept getting those mixed in with the other small fish. You could put a nice net together. So that one hit it on the drop. Every time, well, just about every time one's hit it on the drop. Do I hand that off? No. Nearly everyone that's hit it on the drop has hooked itself. As far as it looks, it's actually gone through. It's actually falling through fish. That was a good bite. That's another decent fish. Makes you wonder if they've been there all day, but I'm just going to keep going now for this last 45 minutes. Just get every single fish I possibly can. Is this another skimmer? Look at that. Make a huge difference, keep picking them off. Another quick bite then, as you saw, that was only in a few seconds. Well, is it the time of day? I have changed the way I'm feeding. All I'm feeding now is worm. Time! Fish on! Right on the whistle. Well, let's land this one, hopefully. Seems like it might be one of them dumpy little roach. Or is it a skimmer? Little skimmer. Nice fish to finish on. Don't know where they've been all day, but always nice to finish on a fish. Had a few good spells, a few bad spells, a few spells and missed bites, had to change things. I don't think I got my feeding quite right, but certainly that last 45 minutes has definitely been better on that 21 metre line for all different species. The key thing that I changed with that was just a smaller hook bait basically, and just worm, just really minced worm. That's all I fed, and that was way better. Now whether that's the approach that's better or whether it was the time of day, we'll never know, but for whatever reason it was definitely better. I think that lad there's, I'm pretty sure he's beat me. He's gone back on the pole and he's continued catching roach on the pole, so that was always going to be a bit of a gamble, not setting the pole up and stuff on here. But you know, from speaking to some of the Trent regulars that have been coming in all the Wednesday matches, they fished the national here, that because the river is so low and so clear, there are lots of places in the river where you need to fish in the flow, but the flow is out of pole range, it's out of float range, and that's why the feed has been doing well. This is not one of those pegs, I'll be honest with you, because there's quite a bit of flow coming quite close in here, but I've used that more for a barbel line, which obviously hasn't produced one, but I haven't spent loads of time on it. So yeah, I mean, I can't really say too much about how I think it's gone, other than I've just kind of got my head down. I thought it was going to be all about small fish. If they are bream or bigger skimmers what he caught, then maybe I should have fished for bream early on. I don't know, but I don't know what this stretch is like for bream. I know that there are sometimes some caught up there, but I don't know about here. So that's it. I can't really say too much without seeing the result and seeing what the other weights are in this section. So I'm obviously hoping that I'm not going to be too far down in the section if I haven't done very well, because I want to stay in the competition for the next 2 days. So I'm going to get some gear packed away, wait for the scales to come down, and then we'll kind of a quick download once I see the weights and hear about how the rest of the section's caught. Good thing about these waders is they're very easy to wash. Way better than I thought. 15.10. There we go. It weighed much better than I thought. Well, that's weighed much more than what I thought. I've had £15.10, I think it is, which I'm really pleased with. That would have put me third, amazingly. I think the lad just up to my right's beat me just, and then there's been possibly with a few ounces, I think, and then there's been a £17 right up there, so that would have put me third. However, it looks like there's been a bit of a mix-up with the pegs. I've drawn Rolleston today. This is Rolleston, but there's also a Rolleston piscatorial stretch. I should have been on peg 15 on that stretch, not this one. Never done anything like that before, and I've been double checking with the pegs like this. It's like on these natural venues, you've really got to make sure you're going down the right lanes, going to the right pegs, right stretch and all that. So it looks like I fished the wrong peg. I should have been peg 15 down there. Obviously nobody's picked up on that during the match, so that would have put me third, so I don't really know. I mean, obviously I want to get out of this whatever I can, and that is basically, looking back now, I think I fished the right match. I did right not going for barbel. I didn't need barbel, and I could have easily had another couple of pound with those spells that I've had where I've gone chasing bigger fish. I perhaps should have just carried on putting fish in the net, but so as regards the actual tactics and everything for this match, on this peg, I think it's been right. I don't know what the weights are down there. I don't think they're quite as good, but I will obviously find out. But like I say, that's not the issue now. The issue is what's going to happen now. I don't know if that means that I'm actually disqualified now, or whether it just means that today's result doesn't count, or whether I get maximum points. I honestly don't know, because I've obviously not been in this position before. So yeah, I'm a bit shocked at the minute, to be fair. But as regards the actual match, as regards the actual fishing and everything, yeah, it's turned into I've had a nice day's fishing, haven't I? And a nice mixed bag of fish, different sizes, different species, and I'm glad I didn't spend longer going for barbel. But but obviously all that is overshadowing the fishing at the minute, so I've just got to take the positives out of it. I think of, you know, the mix and everything I've used, possibly the line that I fished at 21 metres was right. I'm sure of that now, and yeah, it's going to be interesting to see what happens now. Well, I've just got a message back from Rob Casterton, the organiser. He's just finished off weighing in because he's actually fishing. Basically, it means that today's result is void. It doesn't mean that I'm disqualified from the festival, so I can obviously still come and fish tomorrow and Monday if I so wish, but obviously that really puts me, I don't quite know how that'll work on the points. It will probably might mean I get maximum points. I'm not quite sure how it works, but I'm going to come and fish. You know, this is not something I've done before, and to be quite honest with you, the way I feel right now, I don't really want to upload this video, but it's real life. You know, these are the things that happen, especially on natural venues. You've got to make sure that you're heading off to the right spot, and you know, I do want to upload it because I think there's quite a bit of value in what you've seen today in this style of fishing, and it'll be interesting to see how it pans out over the next couple of days. So I am going to fish day 2. I am off to a different section tomorrow. I think it will be a more familiar section. I think it could be Dyke or it could be Shoulders or East Stoke. So I'm going to head home now, get some chips on the way home, and I've got a few ends to tie and just kind of try and clear my head and get ready for battle again tomorrow. Each day, yeah, it's obviously a festival, but there are prizes to be won each day. So, you know, there's still money to fish for and position to fish for. So, obviously, I'm very disappointed, you know, especially if I would have ended up with a really low score like it looks like I might have done, because that would have kept me in contention, but that's what it is. So, I'm going to head off home now and recharge, ready for tomorrow.